welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is 3 easy steps to transform your spiritual health. So I absolutely love talking about growth and personal growth and spiritual growth and just any type of growth. And I believe to truly experience the full authentic side of you and just the full unique side of you, and to be able to tap into your purpose and God calling, you have to go on a spiritual journey. Going on a spiritual journey is going to be so different for each person. It's going to look differently, it's going to feel differently, and it's going to bring up different things inside the individual. And I truly believe we all are spiritual beings here, and that there's a lot more deeper layers to this life than the physical that we are experiencing right now. So the first tip to grow in your spiritual health is pray more. And honestly, I still struggle with this. I can definitely pray to myself in my thoughts to God in my quiet time, but it's very difficult for me to pray out loud in front of people because it's such a personal thing to me. But honestly, it definitely grows your spiritual faith and your spirituality and your spiritual health is when you actually pray out loud for people. And honestly, it's just magical. You feel the presence of God when 2 or more gather, and now I completely understand that verse. Once again, reference, but when 2 or more gather, it's just a setup for miraculous things, and it's just a powerful way to be able to connect more with other people as well as connect with God, and it's just amazing. Me and my friend just prayed for each other over Google Chat, over the video, and I wasn't expecting to do it, and I didn't know what to say beforehand, so I just went with it and just started praying, and the Holy Spirit totally put things on my mind and my heart, and through my words, it was like I wasn't talking, it was it was just flowing, just wisdom and knowledge and purpose was just flowing out of me, and it felt so divine. And she was very blessed by what I said, and I was very blessed by what she said, and it grew us closer together as friends, and it grew our individual faith journeys as well. And it's just so beautiful, and that's just one example. But just if you pray more, even into thoughts, your own thoughts at night before you go to bed, it's just such a beautiful moment with you and God, and you'll feel His closeness and His comfort and His love when you just talk to Him. It doesn't have to be some divine, eloquent prayer with all this verbiage that you just spew out. No, just have a conversation with God, and you'll feel the power and just the love immediately once you start talking to God and sharing all your thoughts and all your emotions and all your wants and all your needs and whatnot. You will just feel inspired and rested and comforted and heard, because He always does hear us. But when you pray more, it definitely grows your spiritual health, and it also helps you be able to grow with others too. The second tip to grow in your spiritual health is set aside time each day to just have a moment with God, whether that's in nature and you just have quiet time to meditate and just think on Him and pray to Him, or if it's just to read the Bible or listen to a sermon or a podcast or someone's post you read or a book, it doesn't matter, or even painting. A lot of people connect with God through art, and they connect with God through nature, and it's just anything that inspires you. And in those moments while you're doing it, you just meditate on the Word of God, as well as you meditate on thoughts of God and how He loves you and what He is to you, and you just truly take time out of each day to spend with him, it definitely builds your relationship with God, and it builds your spiritual health, because it's so hard living this life. And if you aren't strong, if you aren't resilient, if you don't have perseverance, if you don't have endurance, if you don't have strength, if you just don't have any of that, it's just so difficult to keep going in this life. And when you spend time with God and strengthen your spirituality and your relationship with God, you will develop all of those things and so much more. And it's just such a beautiful thing to witness of yourself, how you grow and how you change through the years. And it's just amazing. For example, I set aside time every day. I try to make it in the mornings, but obviously if I'm running late to work, I do it at night. But I really try to make it every morning. When I wake up, I have the few things that I like to do, like my gratitude journal, my regular journal for my emotions, but I have my Bible that I like to read, and I take notes on like what I'm learning or what God points out to me in those moments where I'm reading the Bible, like thoughts that he puts in my mind. And then I just like write prayers. And then obviously I do my prayer list too for people, as well as, myself. But having that time, it really changed my life. It really transformed my life. And I developed this habit, honestly, last year. Like, I was always so inconsistent the last 28 years of my life. Like, I would do really well for like 30 days, and then I'd be like, meh, skip a day, I'll be fine. But then I'd get lazy and I wouldn't want to do it. But then last year, I dedicated 2019, to reading the Bible, the entire Bible, in a year. I finished before the year was over. I think it was 345 days. And even just reading the Bible daily for 345 days, like that next morning when I didn't have any more verses to read because I finished the Bible, I was like, what do I do? Like, I feel like something's missing. I feel like something's empty. I felt shaky and not grounded. And so I ended up just rereading, Psalms or Proverbs after that for the rest of the year, daily, because I created this habit of having this time with God. And it was something that I truly needed for my mental, my emotional, my spiritual, my physical health. And I didn't even know it until I started doing it. And it honestly helps me to approach people. It helps me to approach situations in life in such a better light and perspective, where I listen more, I'm more gracious, I'm more patient, I'm more kind, I'm less reactive, and like I respond more with grace. Reactive meaning I didn't respond so much with grace or take the time to truly think about things before I would react. And a lot of the time, obviously, I regret how I reacted in certain situations in my life. And being able to have this habit of spending time with God daily helps me seriously transform the way I connect with people, the way I connect with myself, the way I connect with God, and it really transformed the way I respond to life situations, as well as just triggers, just normal little small triggers. And it's just a beautiful thing to just have time with God. It really just lights up your life, and it will completely bring healing in so many ways. The third tip is one of my favorites, and it's also the hardest, is shift your mindset from worldly mindset to heavenly mindset. In the meaning and aspect of, basically, when you go through trials in life, don't be so grounded in what's happening and the victimization of it, and just the stress of it, the emotions of it, the pain and suffering of it, but rather, obviously feel it, feel what you need to feel, express it in a healthy way. But after that, transform your perspective on how you approach things in life with a more heavenly perspective, meaning think long term, think purpose, think calling. If you look at your life in a purpose lens, You will choose things differently, and you will act differently, and you will definitely be a lot happier. Like this year was honestly one of the hardest years. It wasn't my worst year, but it was, you know, a good second, a good second place to having a really bad year. And being able to just continually overcome every traumatic thing that happened this year and hard and difficult, painful thing that happened this year, I shifted my mindset. I looked at all these obstacles, all these challenges, all these rock bottoms in a way that I was honoring my purpose. Like, how is this bringing me closer to my purpose? What are the tools that I am learning and gaining in these seasons of rock bottom and in these seasons of just pain and suffering that will help contribute to my purpose and my God calling in this life? Because everything that I've gone through definitely was just horrific this year, but I've gained so many tools and characteristics and character qualities and just so many different connections and life lessons. I gained so much wisdom from this year, mainly because when I was going through all these horrible things, I would immediately shift my perspective on how I viewed everything. Is how is this disruption in my life going to bring me closer to fulfilling my purpose in this life? How is this going to help me be a light for God? Like, how can I be a light while I have corona? How can I be a light when I go through seasons of suffering and times of pain? Like, how can I be a light to others even though they hurt me? So when I shifted my mindset from staying in the world, staying in the negative energy and the negative emotions and just all the darkness of all the traumatic things that have happened, I was able to shift my perspective on a more heavenly one, a more light-filled one, and focus on God through it all. And because I also focused on God through it all, it gave me strength to persevere, and it gave me strength to overcome. Yeah, so when you apply these tips to your life, you'll definitely see a difference in your spiritual growth, and it will change your life and change your perspective on how you live, and you'll feel so much better about yourself and others, and you'll just grow so close to God. If you have any questions, please comment below or send me a message, and I'll be so happy to talk to you and connect with you and share any more tips that you'd like. Thank you so much for watching, and have a beautiful day.